memory of Fathima Latheef. If her guardian angel brought forth a memory at the time of her passing, her untimely death, the memory of the person that came through was likely to have been one who was a sign of Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. That's who was brought to her memory, more than likely, to comfort her during her last moments. What was something that she held high regards for, that she put first and foremost within her day-to-day life? It's coming through as what she was doing, learning, going to school, studying, everything that she was doing. She put a lot of emphasis into it, and she did everything that she was doing with purpose. That's what I'm gathering here. Did she fear that she wouldn't be able to get a job if she didn't succeed? What was driving her to study so hard and to be so disappointed when she was unable to get the grades that she wanted? Being able to afford the things that were going to be important to her in the long run, the things that she knew she needed, everything from food to luxury items. It was very important for her that one day she'd be able to do everything she set out to do or hoped to be able to afford things that she wanted. What was the fear that drove her to feel like she wouldn't be able to support herself if she wasn't able to do better in school? What was going on with that? She felt that was her one option to be able to do well in school. That was what she was focused on, that one particular option. And let me put on cards and see what mood or what spirit provoked her. What mood did she have? Or was there a spirit that really drove her more towards ending it all when things weren't panning out in her studies? Her vision was being disrupted. So there was vision, rebirth, and spirituality and healing that all went into that choice. That was the general mood for how she was feeling. And this spirit of lightness, rebirth, transformation, and joy, just wanting that spirit to come through. That was something that drove her as well, a desire, or just knowing that that spirit of rebirth was not present. So there was likely one of transformation coming in, so a spirit of transformation. And let me see if I can get some clarity on. That's what I'm getting. So there was one of cycle of life, rebirth, and abundance. So the cycle of life vibe, that spirit was present going into that. What can we learn as outsiders looking in at what she went through in her life? Just about disappointment and seeing how she handled it, and knowing that, it can be very challenging to handle disappointment Did she want her professors or any one particular professor who discriminated against her due to her religious beliefs? Did she want that professor to come to terms with what they did, be punished for what they did, or feel really bad in the long run for what happened? How was she, what was she trying to do? What was she motivated to have happen with them? Well, she wanted to get through um, the rocky waters. She really wanted to get through to the other side. There was that issue to where she really wanted to leave behind that messy scenario that she was facing, and something that she wrote, somewhat of a declaration. She did mention how much she missed home, how she longed to be at home, in so many words. Did she want them to feel extra guilty for their victimization of her? Did she want them to be way more empathetic in the long run? She wanted an end to the way that they were treating her. That's what I'm getting with the death card right here coming in to answer that. What was her worst fear of what would happen if she would have had to drop out of school, drop out of classes? Her absolute worst fear is coming in twofold with that she didn't feel that she would be able to obtain compassion from others, that she wouldn't be all the wiser for it, that she wouldn't feel as inspired as she would being able to pass and do well in school. And so that's what I'm getting. What was she presented with learning while alive on this plane? She was presented with learning how to take quick action when things aren't panning out. However, she was put in a place to be able to find which action was needed, which action was necessary for the issue, for the problem that she was facing, and various problems that she was facing. What would be the strong measures that are necessary to take? That is what she was encouraged to work on and work through and find out the answer to. And what did she learn during her life? What was one of the major things that she learned? It's coming in as being able to be encouraged by others within a group, having the same emotional goals. And she was not feeling like that was being made available to her without her family being present. So loneliness did creep in with that. For those who are struggling with everything that happened and are trying to find closure with what's going on, the advice card is coming in as making a decision and to gain some clarity about the choice that we're facing. It's all about justice, about taking the higher road, about understanding when people do feel victimized because people are racist towards them or they're feeling negative. They don't want to accept someone's religion, their religious preferences, or their desire not to be religious, or their spiritual, personal choices that they make. And it's all about accepting the fact that we are people who are different. We're not all going to be the same, and we're not all going to want the same things in every situation, in every encounter. And it's all about respecting how others feel, and being empathetic and being as fair as possible, especially when it comes to being able to learn, be inspired, go to school, make money, make a way for ourselves in the world, feed ourselves, clothe ourselves, things that everyone should have a right to be able to do without people um, just victimizing others and being prejudiced in some way, just accepting people for who they are, being just. That is something that we should all learn from a scenario such as this. And that's what's coming in this reading. Thanks for tuning in.